Let's talk about the trading card hobby as trading card enthusiasts and collectors gathered at Uptown Rapid Mall today to sell and trade their prized possessions. Sports cards, Funko Pops, and more were on display at the West River Card and Collectible Show. The event was organized by Playmaker Sports Cards, Memorabilia, and Gaming, providing tenured traders with a chance to share their passion with each other and people stopping by. Some items were listed with four-figure prices, and a couple of vendors said they loved talking with other collectors in Rapid City.